Hello and welcome one and all to tonight's first live stream. This is coming at you from Metro's Fort Omaha campus at the Culinary Arts Center up in the ballroom. You can still make it here. We're looking for judges. We're gathering teams, getting things ready for tonight's bout. In tonight's bout, you are going to be hearing incredible poetry from students from the following schools: Bellevue West, Duchesne, Omaha Benson, and Norfolk's pickup team, North Fork's pickup team. And pardon me, I think actually Bellevue East and Bellevue West are combined forces this year, making for a comprehensive super team. So this is going to be a really great bout. We say bout. Really, we're a festival, and this is a show. We put the scores on it to kind of keep things interesting, to get audiences invested in it, to get administrators invested in it who want to be able to say that their school is the state champion of X as many times as possible. But really what we're here for is the poetry, is the stories, is the writing, and is the courage of the incredible students you're going to see. My name is Greg. I coach Omaha Westside. I supervise a number of other teams. I'm going to be your live stream host for tonight. I'm going to be on the live stream giving you scoring updates whenever I can, letting you know kind of how things are going here in the room, letting you know how the audience is reacting in case you can't hear their uproarious applause, and just, kind of taking you through it. So feel free to jump in the chat room. Please share the link. The link to access this is youtube.com/LTABOmaha. That's youtube.com/LTABOmaha, LTABOMAHA. We wish it were great planes. They won't let us change it. And we've outgrown just Omaha. So you're going to be hearing from some great poets. I'm going to have to kill the audio until the bout starts because I'm going to need to kill the audio until the bout starts because we have a DJ in the room. He's kind of getting people going. But if YouTube hears that we're broadcasting copyrighted music, they get all prickly and they shut our feed down. And we don't want that to happen. So the audio is going to be down until the bout starts, but just sit tight, and we will be here through the bout and letting you know what's going on. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Again, pass the link along, and we will get going here within probably about 10 minutes or so. So we'll talk to you then. Thanks. Hey folks, this is Greg. We are about to start. You're going to be hearing from Omaha Benson, then Bellevue United, both West together. You're going to be hearing from Duchesne Academy of the Sacred Heart. It's going to be awesome. Here are your hosts, Jessica and Maddie.
Hello, crowd! Welcome to the best night you're going to have in a long time, aka Night 2 of the 2015 Louder Than a Bomb Great Plains Poetry Competition. My name is Nika Poindexter, and I'll be hosting the show tonight. And this.
I am Madeline Lear, so I'll be hosting.
Woo, woo, woo.
Okay, so slam poetry was invented in the 1980s by a Chicago poet and construction worker named Mark Smith.
So what?
In 2001, Louder Than a Bomb was created in Chicago by Kevin Kuval and West.
Yeah, they're cool.
And now we have Louder Than a Bomb Great Plains, which is in its 4th year and has grouped with 35 teams from across Nebraska and Iowa.
All right, y'all, I need you to buckle up because this is what's about to go down. We're going to have 3 teams: Omaha Benson, Bellevue United, and Duchesne. Each team has a symbol between 4 and 10 poets. Each of these teams will send up 5 poems in a predetermined order. Each poem will be their original work and will last no longer than 3 minutes and 10 seconds. If it goes longer than that, we take our point. Don't even worry about that because other folks who job get the work. We'll start, and there will not feature any props, any costumes, or any accompaniment from anybody else other than competing poets. The 5th round is when we have nothing but fruit pieces from each team that was able to field one. So you'll actually get to see more than one poet on the stage at one time. Mind blowing, right?
Okay, serious now. In the interest of creating the safest and most inclusive space possible, we ask that poems not contain profanity, sexually explicit or pornographic language. I think there's a typo. Gratuitous language, racial, ethnic, gender slandering, homophobic, religiously discriminatory, ableist, or otherwise discriminatory slurs, speech, or language. That said, some of our poets may issue trigger warnings if their poems contain potentially traumatic content, though that is not a requirement.
Each poem will be scored by our 5 judges. Judges, put up your scorecards.
Yeah,
Judges.
All right, so what's going to happen is the judges in this situation are the judges, people with the power. They're going to help you move the show along. They'll give everybody a scale of 0, which is not the best thing you ever heard, to 10, which means you can levitate from your chair and relive that moment as many times as you like, just from the power of greatness. There's a range in there. We'll drop the high score and the low score, and then add the 3 middle scores together. Then at the end of the bout, the team who has the highest number of points wins the bout. My judges, you have to remember to be consistent from the beginning or end, and don't let the audience sway you. You'll score the poem based on the merits of the poem, not based on how many people are up here, or how the audience reacts to your scores. Now that being said, audience, do y'all exist? Yeah. Do y'all have opinions?
Yeah. Because audience, it's your job to give as much love to the poets as you can and sway those judges.
All right, before we start proper, a couple things. If you have an electronic telephone-like device, it makes beeping noises and vibrating noises and it plays pretty little songs. All of that should stop while we're here. Our job is to make sure we throw as much energy and love towards the stage as possible while poets are performing. Not to break it down to, you know, whatever the current song is when your radio plays it, or clucking chickens. I've heard that too. So, turn it off. Everybody whose phone has gone off thought it was off before it went off. Everybody look at the thing. Confirmations? Confirmation.
All right.
Cool. So now what we're going to do is bring up a calibration poet so that our judges have a chance to practice. So what we're also going to have you practice, audience, is making sure that everybody gets a warm welcome when they come to that stage. So that means when we call somebody up here, you're clapping until you see a human on the microphone. Y'all good? Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for our calibration poet.
and this is a microphone. And this is a poem. This is called Damages. When you're on the verge of suicide, after killing your ex-girlfriend and your friend who had become her new lover, it's hard to think or drive straight. You can only replay the sequence of events that led you to this point. Seeing her car parked outside of his apartment, breaking the sliding glass door to gain entrance, kicking open the bedroom door to see exactly what you expected, pulling the trigger until the chamber was empty and realizing you forgot to save a bullet for yourself. When you're gliding all over along that sheer drop, when you're on that verge of suicide, you're not concerned with the mess that you're going to leave and the people who will have to clean up the next morning, how they will have to scrape the remains of you and your car from the pavement, how your parents will be told by the mortician in the fallout over the following days that their only option for the funeral service will be closed casket because of the inevitable damage that you are about to sustain upon impact. They will try not to read the newspaper or consider how people will remember their son as a killer. They will deliberately avoid driving down that street because what happened there, well, they don't want to think about it. They will occasionally see your picture on their wall, smiling and beaming in your youth, and they will choose to remember who you were in that picture and not who you were next to your obituary. The parents of your victims will be faced with similarly dreadful decisions, like how to pay for that sliding glass door that you broke in order to enter his apartment. Their children whose funerals are subject to where you decided to aim as you unloaded your roommate's gun. Your roommate will have to eventually find a new place to sleep because his nightmares will get progressively worse. He will visit a therapist who will try to explain that when you called him that night, saying you had no other choice, you were sorry, but you had to do this. He couldn't have done anything to stop you. He might believe it after a while and finally get some sleep. They might all forget. They will all try to forget. Forget the bloodstained windshield, forget the bloodstained bed sheets, forget the fragments of broken glass in the carpet, forget your face and theirs. That there is life, there is death, and there is every opportunity that we squander in between, and every fragment of glass that we ignore, all of the damage that we leave behind in our ignorant wake. But as your car careens off the cliff, you don't think about any of that. When you're on the verge of suicide, you're not concerned with the mess that you're going to leave behind.
All right, so that was our poet to give the judges a chance to warm up their scoring.
All right,
What was scored as part of
you
that?
have 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, go! Sorry, I'm trying to read. Okay, I see a 7, a 7, a 6, a 9.5, and an 8.5. Keep the love going because we have our first quote up, second quote up, second, from Omaha Benson.
First picture poet in the Bout from Omaha Benson. There's
Hi, my name is Lyndacia Valentine, and I'm from Benson High School. My poem is called Sculpture Daily. I feel like now is just a waste of time. A waste of time occupied by who can have the most fun before they die. Everyone here wants to be happy. Older people wish they had more time to waste. Let's just get it over with when I get home, why don't we? Things change so quickly. Right when I believe I have something solid, it disintegrates. Made to last, like the sculpture David by Michelangelo. A few fall-offs are normal because after so long, it is what to expect. But these small issues are resolved by glue. I can picture it now. While people walk in the gallery, David's fingers falls off. And the janitor says to another, just get the glue and I'll get Mr. or a doctor or whatever to get everyone settled down. Everyone kind of loses their mind because this sacred piece of art slowly falls apart. As I imagine, I hear the audience rant amongst themselves. An ocean of mixed voices wave across the room. Coming back to reality, I say, Solid marble sculptures are shaped as those I am close with and myself, and unexpectedly, they disintegrate. They are like my close relationships I have had with people. It is there. It sits safe and still, unmovable and strong, reassuring it is because of the heavy weight. At ease, I believe. No one can just push it away. This bond, and it disintegrates. It breaks into pieces that just can't be glued together again. A catastrophe, and everyone sees, and they rant. My own thoughts and other people's words rush through and flood my mind. A storm goes on, wild and dangerous and silent, but it bangs and bangs. A mute destruction. In my mind, I slowly turn insane, questioning my values and who I can really trust. And life itself, a waste of time it turns out to be. Years wasted trying to be happy by building these masterpieces so detailed and magnificent by the stories that's carved by tales. These stories are not all well. There are heartbreaking ones and ones that will make others furious too, but they are there. The details that make this sacred marble of art a masterpiece. You and that person, it took years to make that bond. A moment captured of you two sit set, still unmovable and strong. It does, and it crumbles. Gone. Trust, gone. Closeness, gone. Time spent to build, gone.
All right, that was our first poet from Omaha Benson opening up the Bout. Again, great team. Always excited to see what they do. See how the score is right now.
All right, now, judges, quick like buddies. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. I'm missing. Oh, there you are. All right, we have an 8.7. We have an 8.0. We have an 8.5. We have a 9.5. And a 7.5. Give it up for your poet. All love to the poet here every time. And keep it going for Bellevue United.
Hi, I'm Michael Taylor. I'm from Bellevue. This poem's called Forget. They say eventually you'll forget. You'll forget about that girl you're trying so hard to keep in your life. They say all those nights you lie awake thinking about what you could have done will fade away one morning with the sun. One day you'll just wake up and there'll be no more feelings. And yeah, you traced her name into your ceiling, but suddenly she's not that appealing because you forgot. You forgot what it's like to feel her hand in yours. And you used to talk about how you had no clue what you'd do without her. Well, look at you. It took you some time, but you've forgotten. You've erased that part of your life within a year, and though you may think about what you had, it'll only ever be the bigger things. You'll envision that movie date and then the boat ride. You won't recall the way she laughed at everything you said. I should always leave a plate outside for the dead because it made them feel more welcome. Well, did I mention you're still alive? Even after all the times you said you wouldn't survive without her, you didn't die, and she wasn't your everything, your all. No, she was a simple plight on this course we call life, and though it was a tragedy, magically we're still standing on 2 feet. You see, we made such a big deal about this high school relationship. So I'll throw you a simple question that goes a little like this. Have you forgotten about me like I've forgotten about you? Because you see, if you ever gave me another chance for love to exist, I'd make sure it wasn't a temporary bliss. I'd throw myself back into my demeanor of kindness. But I can't keep waiting on this fantasy. Because I tried to be everything you wanted of me, but after 6 years of constant addiction, I've given up. I've gotten addicted to everything, and that's what you did to me. You got me hooked on every part of you that I'd see. Because I could stare into your eyes forever, and I could play with your hair until it tangled between my fingers. I could freehand your entire body in my sleep. And yes, I understand standing on this probably makes me look weak. And all my heartbreak simply came from within. And all these things I remember, they took days to recover, for they were shoved so far down into my mind. So let me ask you, do you remember what all happened to begin? Because darling, I do. I remember almost everything about you, but I also remember nothing at all. So every time my chest happens to rise and fall, I'm constantly changing. My entire mindset is always rearranging. And the thought of you now only comes in random surges. Like when I walk in the old market and my body unconsciously drifts towards the slides. Or when I walk outside and all I see is dark clouds. I remember how I got you to go play in the rain with me. It was a heavy downpour and you said you wanted your first kiss in this exact spot. The corner of 12th and Main Street, but you see I forgot. I forgot how that exact moment felt. I remember how the rain washed away your makeup as you had just cried. I remember how we had to take off almost all of our clothes because your mom didn't want to get anything wet inside. Almost every emotional feeling I felt for you has died, and I know I've been a little different lately, but it's because of time. And with time, we learn from the mistakes we're going to have to make. We learn from success we never thought would materialize. You see, change does exactly that. It changes everything, which brings me back to my point. Impermanence is unavoidable and change is inevitable. And throughout all of my own change, things just fell apart and didn't feel the same. Because you see, darling, this is the last thing I'm ever going to write for you. Because I need to get you out of my head and leave you with the dead, but my eyes aren't set to kill, they're only set towards my own will. And that's the only thing I want more in life right now, is to rid of your echoing voice and leave you like you left me as simply as a choice.
Alrighty, that was our first poet from Bellevue United. Team comprised of both poets in Bellevue West and Bellevue.
All right, judges, you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I have an 8.0, 8.5, 9, 9.3. Up next is a poet from Duchesne.
Hi, I'm Red Henning.
I'm Erin Harrington.
I'm Maya Calkinney. We're from Duchesne, and this is Nuclear.
Whoa!
05:30, July 16th, 1945. God slept peacefully in the sky, soft and unassuming,
Confident in his role
as the sole breather of life and only kisser of death. July 16th, 1945. The day man took death as his own, plucked it out of oblivion, rolled it between his fingers,
and chewed it between his teeth.
The day cigar smoke plumed into a mushroom cloud.
The day men stopped being men and became gods and bundled fate into a little gift called Trinity.
Then unwrapped it. Red bows of toxic fumes crisscrossed,
An inferno tucked into plutonium power hotter than the surface of the sun by 10 times Trinity.
craved into herself, curled into a ball.
Welded her soul together, but it shattered anyway. Atomic fission.
They sighed.
A nucleus crumpled in the fists of scientists. Trinity threw her arms out wide, collapsed within herself, fire and pain seeping out 20,000 tons,
Balanced on the palm of earth.
which grimaced and screamed and gave way 12,000 feet into herself. Oppenheimer,
Obvious as you were.
your blemished tongue flicked over truth.
I am become death, the shatterer of worlds.
Oh no, my friend.
You do not become death. Death becomes you.
Slips on,
Cradles human self.
platters your meek human shape, covers your pale weaknesses with the hood of radioactivity.
My dear scientists, Einstein,
Siller, Keller,
you scuttled from
Hitler's
Hitler's killer fist
into the arms of another murderer.
You twisted your brains into death traps.
Your hands into knives, lips into killers. The people of
Hiroshima
Hiroshima
never felt their skin.
melt into their bones,
Melt.
melt into their viscera.
Melt into history.
But we did.
You watched the eruption.
Watched God himself be outfought. Watched men obliterate the confines of death, and we were enchanted.
The hot breath of fire.
The mushroom of toxic heat
put on a pretty little light show.
we could not rip ourselves away from. July 1945.
The month man's hunger
For a pretty little package of death, swallowed him, chewed him up, and spit him out. Eyes reflecting the captivating shine of the end of the world. Death,
had regained its hold over us, not in fear but in thirst.
thirst for the screams,
For the manacles of pain.
and gut-wrenching, agonizing terror. Yes, we had become drunk with the wine of blood.
1945. Your humans ripped out their pupils
And replaced them with explosions.
Alright, that was Duchesne Academy using the first optional rookies and their optional rookies for the first 4 rounds. So they'll be individual from then on out. I visited them a couple times. It's fun to watch that fall and dry. Let's see how the scores come back.
All right, now, judges. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put them up. I have a 9.1. I have an 8.8. I have an 8.0. I have a 9.8. I have a 9. Give it up for your time. And keep that look. Okay, we're going to give it up for the Galactic Federation of Bellevue Poets.
I was super prepared. Didn't even know it was my turn. Hi, I'm Andy from the Galactic Federation of Bellevue Poets. I've never been burnt at the stake. One time, a firecracker went off in my hand and it felt like I burned it off, but it wasn't even that bad. And another time, I accidentally hot glued my fingers, but my mom bought me ice cream, so I got over that pretty quick. But I remember the first time they set me on fire. My best friend and I had the word faggot thrown at us like a lit match. I remember the first time he told me he liked boys. We were in my basement cutting our doll's hair. I told him it was okay. So did I. I remember writing songs in my bedroom because he could sing. He had hips that were made to move, and a song always caught in his throat. My words didn't mean a thing until they left his lips. I remember wishing desperately that my mom wouldn't make me wear a skirt to church and having him sneak them over to his house for midnight dances alone in his basement. She would lose her mind trying to figure out where they'd all gone. But I knew they were better off with him. He's always been prettier than me. He's always been more graceful. I remember being okay with that. I remember the first time he cried on the bus, when they tried to spit on him, when he was braver than me, silent tears dripping down his face, smearing his mascara like ash, while I sat watching through the closet door as they laughed and judged and fanned the flames. Faggot! I remember coming out. I remember holding her hand and feeling so proud because after the last few years of kissing any boy I could in order to find myself, I had never felt more at home than in our interlocked fingers. But then I remember the lighter fluid they poured down my back as it dripped into places I didn't want them, like when they said they could make me straight or that I should at least give them a show, like my sexuality was only accepted if they got something from it. I remember when he threatened to kick all of their butts because even in high heels and a cocktail dress, he could still throw a punch. Sophomore year. No one cared when I cut my hair, wore boy clothes, and asked to be called Andy. But when he put on that dress and wig, he cut and brushed and made absolutely stunning. They hid behind computer screens and asked him to set himself on fire because being feminine is a death sentence. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words and flames engulf me, faggot. We don't talk as much anymore. But when we do, he tells me he likes drinking more than singing, and he has always had a throat like a lightning bolt. He tells me he wouldn't mind dying. Not that he is suicidal or anything, just that he thinks it might be better. We are tired of burning. We are tired of scorch marks and voices so mutilated we are unrecognizable when we tell you who we are. So instead, be afraid because we are coming for you. When you light a fairy on fire, it will come after you with dark magic and rage. And guess what? It's on fire. So be prepared for burnt down cities and rainbows poured out like gasoline over this city. We are coming for you. How funny it must feel to fall on the wrong side of history.
That was Andy from the Galactic Federation of Bellevue Poets. One of the most amazing artists in town today.
All right, judges. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, thank you. You wrote them bigger. Okay. I have an 8.9. I have a 9.3. 9.8. 9.8. 9.6. Please give it up for our next poet, Duchesne.
name is Jessica Flanagan. I am a senior from Duchesne Academy. And this is the F-bomb. For years, I cursed the word feminism. Let it puddle under my tongue, collect pop capillaries and old blood. For years, it remained snuggled under my breath, an annoyance of popcorn kernel proportions of thorn, jabbed into gummy teeth. How can I ever survive this attack of gender equality? And then I tasted empowerment, learned how luscious it could be, suckling on my taste buds, blooming across my voice. Oh no, there it comes. Clawing up my throat to vomit all over the patriarchy. And as my legs curled into unshaven jungles of liberating prickle, I realized that feminism isn't all about throwing away razors. I realized that I grew up rotting. A sinew-wrapped trap that smelled pretty. I've been marinating in the word woman since day one. Wondered what it would feel like to brew men's pupils, to whistle at my Fibonacci sequence body, to cloud eyelids with molds of my cheekbones, fashion oceans from the irises staple to my swaying heel, supple stomach with frequent rumbling, ink ribbons from my tongue just to let them look at me somehow. Their puppet smiles and marionette eyelids would make it all better, bring back to life these epitaph teeth, chapel smiles, and dissipating feet. There's no way to run in high heels. I grew up learning how to wobble. Stuck wondering why my family cared so much if I didn't wear makeup, contacts, or mini skirts. And for a while, I begged for beauty. Squandered birthday checks on concealer and lipstick that didn't make me feel any different, and looked down during class to distract from my unworthiness. Came home one night from work and my family said, "Are you trying to look homely?" If you teach a thing to focus, it will become Narcissus and stare at the pockmarked skin and frayed tresses that don't match the models. For us, living is learning to dart eyes above the mirror, take verbal assault like sweet talk. After all, he's paying you a compliment. It's being raised to plot pulp-like muscles and to spank, stir chest cavity to beat to the word pretty. There came a day when I realized that feminism is about squirming within a broken system. It's listening to my friends talk about what shade of date rape, drug detecting nail polish to purchase. Priests speak of the blasphemy of leggings. Teachers spit out that my shoulders are too sexy for church. It's clenching my fists during self-defense classes because I shouldn't have to do this. Sit tight while my veins steam and I have to breathe and count to 5. My brother says that men don't belong in kitchens. 4. A man followed me in a parking lot and I couldn't breathe. 3. Another followed me at a concert and my heart shuddered for months. 2. The first cat call came at 11 and when I told my sister, she said not to worry. It happens to everyone. 1. Man-hater, oversensitive. You're so cute when you get mad. No! Call me feminist!
That was our round 2 poem from Duchesne Academy.
All right, judges. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put 'em up. I have a 9.5. I have a 9.0. I have a 9.5. I have a 9.8. I have a 9.1. Give it up for your good. And keep that love going for your next one up from Vincent.
I'm a senior from Benson. My name is Mason. And this poem is called I'm Irritated. I'm irritated by this fly in my ear. It's always something I tend to hear. I'm reborn by this voice that was once peace is now hatred. I'm deeply blinded by the best things in the world I can't have. I have jokes when I can't laugh, mad at first because I can't laugh. But at this moment, I have no progression. In my age adolescent for now, passive aggressives have never been the best investment with something so good it's worth a second guessing. I never heard you scratch my back, I scratch yours. I heard I scratch my back, you scratch yours. Confused about the time that I give them because my eyes see you different. I think it's my astigmatism. My first vision was the better. The second was the worst. One saw the garden well, the other saw the dirt. The worse got better, then the better got worse, and it caused irritation. That's what made you hurt. So when I contact you to be nice and you add the extra, how rubbing it caused hatred and my heart doesn't have any eye drop for my retina, now I'm blind. I hate that you're always there. I know that's a strong word, and honestly don't care, and I'm gonna say it again. You're always there. You're always there. You're always there, like a clown at a fair, like a butt to a chair, like a town to a mayor, like forget it, I honestly don't care. And I hope you go away, but not from this earth. Like a clown at a fair, like a butt to a chair.
You got it, poet.
Take your time.
You got it, poet.
Like a clown at a fair, like a butt to a chair, like forget it, I honestly don't care. And you heard what I said because it's garbage memories give me tendencies to dread the flies laying back into my head. Spitting acid on every memory, turning history into history. Turning history into history. And if you die, if you die, I can't even lie, but right now you're acting like this fly has been annoying since birth. I don't care about the 2 cents you put in, it only made it worse. It's crazy how little change in my heart could be a curse. But the price of love is the cheapest, but when you go through hard times, it doubles the interest and the taxes increases. I hate my life is broke as a joke, and it's not even funny. This life needs to leave me alone, and speaking of alone, I need a little money. Living an oxymoron where the day is good, but it's not always sunny. Where I'm sick of it, but my nose is not always running. Put this in easy terms, how bugs is not always bunny. I look into the 4,000 eyes, it's time to face it. Couple wings, black hands, they rub them together, they plotting so patient. Flying for their next creation. Flying where my heart and mind have located this loving buzzing sensation. After I squash that fly from the pavement, the insects hire another replacement. It's irritating.
That was a poet from Omaha Benson. Oh, sorry for
I deleted 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. I have an 8.9, 8.5, 9.2, 9, and 9.6. Keep it going. We have a poet from Duchesne.
Hello, I'm Margie Davey. I'm a senior at Duchesne Academy. And this is I Could Write. I could tell you my story, spin out the drawl of tales that follow me, nipping at my feet. I could spill the world and watch you drown in my blood. Every day is a tale, and a teenager has 6,000. I will start simply. Most babies smile at 5 weeks, and I smiled at just 2. At 13, I decided I was too old to keep the middle school memories. I didn't exist until I was past puberty and shameless. It was easier to forget than to burn sticks and stones into the wedges of my spine and try to stand up tall when I was 14. And I stopped flinching at swear words. I thought I fell in love for the first time and cried a summer away when I couldn't keep the illusion anymore. For 15, I figured it all out. My brother splayed his blood alcohol level on the street, came back with a ticket and a story to tell. The next 6 months, I was invisible and he was everywhere. 17, I found my home in the arms of a friend who knew what it was like to only see phantoms of herself in the mirror. I lost her to a boy who'd gotten bored of beating upon my brain and turned to take hers instead. She didn't flinch when I asked her to stay. I didn't flinch when she left. I'm 17, and none of these stories really matter to me anymore. I could cut upon the wounds, peel away the skin, and show you what it is like to be alive, to feel pain, but what's the use in these words if they are only ever tormenting? I can hold the past, the present, the hazy future inside my veins, wait for a mortician to harvest my organs, fight stories stuffed up and hoarded in my body, but I cannot let people ache with mine any longer. There is a world brimming with words, sentences dripping down faces and flush down toilets, downstream, away from anyone who can take them and turn them around, turn a frown upside down, turn wine into water again. But this world, with these happy-go, unlucky people, they try again. They try again. They open their mouths and keep pulling words out of their throats. Magicians who never cease to amaze. They bottle their tears and drink them back on lazy Sundays. Dangle their feet in the sun and dare the atmosphere to burn them again. Bleed again. Look around you. I am a sufferer, diagnosed with a terminal life, but I am one of billions. We are all bleeding. We are all smiling too early or too late. Our pains, our thumbprints in a collage of world history, and someday nobody will remember us, but we still exist. We are still breaking and bonding, colliding in strange and unusual ways. We all have stories. Some choose to tell and some don't, but our existence matters whether we have 6,000 or 600 stories to tell. We were here. We were. And we will beat back against the shore until the world isn't a never-ending tale anymore.
That was Margie, who's been with Sam pretty much since the very first year. She's one of our 4-year students. And she's representing her team very well. Here's
All right, now,
the scores.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I have a 9.3. I have a 9.0. I have a 9.2. A 9.5. And a 9.1. Give it up for your poet. And keep that love going for our next poet up, Omaha Benson.
Woo-hoo!
Hey, y'all, my name is Kenny. I'm from Benson. Who that? My poem is called A Guy with a Girl. In the hallways of a school where no one is around to catch a breakdown, and the guy you're kissing and missing is switching his decision because his girlfriend is on a mission with intentions to break me. Because lately I've been on deep restrictions of not being able to tell nobody who I'm crushing on, someone I've been loving long. He sends me text through the night and assures me that everything will be all right. Now he wants something special with me. I open his locker, well, our locker frequently to see if he's still in the deep with me. In a school where I try my best to hide my outside pain in me secretly. It's like my anger makes respect and authority have less success to seeking me. And I've been down in the deep and mean. But revengeful thoughts don't stop the teardrops, so I guess I'd rather be in love with another girl's guy rather than to be sad and lonely like his worth for me is mad and phony. I just wish someone would have told me that the old me was still the current, that the occurrence wasn't the preference, and I would never get the glory to live long with some of that blood, long with some of that makes me feel better. In a school where this guy attends. The same guy should have never let in me or believe in his pretendings. Now I'm not friendly and his presence offends me, but he still comes around me relentlessly. When I'm with my lovers, it's like the cover reheats and sickens me with my emotions boiling. To think if they ever conversated, what kind of stories would they have told of me? In a school where a whole clique of guys see me at the center because they only heard one side of a story that never wanted to be written or even published. I wish it never occurred. In a school where I take a 10 milligram Focalin at noon and the nurse is so sweet, even though I used to be so mean, I switched up because I know how much her good deeds mean. In a school where I feel as if a teacher doesn't know me, but scolds me, and feels the need to redirect me and intimidates my soul, and I feel angry, heavily, and unheavenly. Like my irritation wants the best of me, but the rest of me doesn't take place in a school where I graduate by destiny, and by destiny I find a guy who really loves me, has faith in me, will never neglect me, protect me, and only love me. A guy won't have to go around corners to kiss or text when it's only convenient. A guy who won't diss. He's gonna be my best friend. He's gonna be the best man in the world. But for now, I'm going to continue to be desperately in love with a guy who has a girl.
football. That was scorching Omaha Benson. 11 minutes. So good.
All right.
Yeah, the sportsman back.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I have a 9.0.
Come
A
on.
9.0.
Come on.
9.5. 9.5. And 9.8.
Woo!
Keep it going. Poet from Bellevue.
My name is Megan, and I'm a senior from the Bellevue the Galactic Federation of Bellevue Poets. This poem is called Lifeline. I wear my cape bright red. It is not to show that I'm too busy saving somebody else. It is to show that if I do something out of character, it is only because I have not had time to save myself yet. I hope it does not sound like I'm complaining, because the last thing I would ever want to do is burden you. But here's a story into it. When my little sister would fall asleep on the couch, it was my job to carry her upstairs to her bed. She is 10 years old now, almost as tall as me. I am no longer responsible for carrying her limp, sleeping body, her limp 65-pound sleeping self upstairs to her bed. But I know how it feels to fall asleep on the couch and wake up in the same place. I know how it feels to no longer be carried. She and I are both afraid of the dark. I more than her. It sounds bad, but we sleep in the same bedroom, mostly so I'll have an excuse to leave the light on. We are so much alike. Sometimes I think she has a chance to get myself right. But you can't think of people like chances. Nobody gets a second life. She treats me like a life woman. She spends so much of her time just trying to hug me. Her arms start to look like rope. I tell her I love her as often as I can. I know my mother isn't doing it. The trouble is she never says it back because she knows our mother isn't doing it, so I take her arms and tie them around my neck. Her bones are sticking out everywhere. You could cut your lip just kissing her cheek. Winding canyons got their distinctive shape when ancient rivers ran through them. I wonder how long it took for the tears to sharpen her face to a point. She doesn't know anything about saving or being saved yet, and the last thing I would ever want to do is burden her, so I just tell her stories instead. Before she was born, I prayed to God night after night for hours and asked for a little sister. I don't tell her that story because she knows I don't believe in God anymore. Instead, I tell her about the night she was born. My mother had a home birth. I stayed up in my room all night until my dad told me I could come see her. I was so confused. I was only 7 years old, and I didn't really know anything could look that perfect. I tell her I don't believe in God because I found something new to believe. I tell her about the first time I held her by myself. She looked up at me like I was a stranger. She didn't know me yet, but she didn't cry. So I just kept holding her. I just keep carrying her up the stairs.
Poet from the Galactic Federation of Bellevue Poets. This song was a piece of personal writing.
All right, judges. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on. I have a 9.0. I have a 9.2. I have a 9.0. I have a 9.6 and a 9.3. Give it up for your poet. And keep your love going up for our next poet, Omaha Benson.
My name is Sabrina Salmon, and I'm a freshman from Benson High School. And this is my poem, I Am Not Juliet. It's been brought to my attention that women are objects of beauty, desire, torment, and punching bags. It's been brought to my attention that I belong to someone else. I'm not stating why I think women are superior. I'm not shaming nor am I taming your thoughts in some hypnotic fashion. I'm just explaining why these verbal punches are degrading to a young woman such as myself. It's been forced upon me that I can't wear what I want without being examined, judged, or an object of disgust. If we choose to wear long dresses and cover every inch of our skin, let them think that we're oppressed. If we choose to wear nude stockings and you think we expect to see gawking, let them call us sluts. It's been forced upon me that I can't make a statement without being judged. It's as if Shakespearean days have started again. Well, I'm no Juliet. I'm not property, I'm not royalty. If I want to add poof to my dress, I wear a petticoat, because the lighter I feel, the freer I am. I don't believe in love at first sight. I wouldn't risk my life for some guy. Instead of Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? I'd rather say, where art thou respect and mine equality? I am not Juliet! It's been brought to my attention that I can't do anything I want. The woman should stick to cooking and cleaning. The danger lies in woodwork and driving. So if I shouldn't, should I even try? We're smart, strong, independent young women, and we all have a purpose, no matter age, race, or gender. I am not Juliet. I am Sabrina, an independent, talented young woman with a bright future driving my own life. We are not Juliets. We are Cleopatras, Marilyn Monroe's, Athena. We are women. I have brought to your attention that we can do what we want. Drive, march, work, fight, be insane. The right kind of insane. And I hope you choose to acknowledge this girl who is not Juliet.
All right, that was the poet from Omaha Benson, kicking off round 4.
Okay, judges! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. I have a 9.4, 9.2, 8.7, 9.7, and a 9.9. Keep it going, we have a poet from Bellevue.
Hi, I'm Teacher Smith. I'm a junior from the Galactic Federation of Bellevue Poets. She was your canvas. She was your slab of marble. She was the wall on the side of an abandoned building. And you were Picasso, and Van Gogh, and Monet. You were all of her favorite artists smushed into the form of seductive charm, which she wouldn't have given to make sure that she was always your muse. The lengths that she would have gone in order to ensure she would be displayed at your art gallery. She was willing to wrinkle her paper skin and mold her clay heart if you ever needed her to. She knew the risk of being a piece of work. She knew that Da Vinci never apologized for hurting his parchment. She was blank before she met you. You saw the beauty in her empty spaces. You drew wings on her shoulder blades and roses on her knees. You dabbed these mini masterpieces with baby powder and coated them with hairspray in hopes that your mark would never falter. It never really worked. Baths and sweats and rain made sure of that, but that moment, the moment right after that supposedly permanent marker left her skin, that moment was always so sweet, so satisfying. Your pictures reminded her of the vacancies of yesteryear, how pale the world was to her before you introduced her to all of its hues. Roses are red, violets are blue. She was blank before she met you. And while your olive skin made the most beautiful of backgrounds, it wasn't quite enough. It didn't have the contrast you were looking for, so your voice became a new medium. Each word was an angry stroke, a chunk of pottery pulled into a piece of plaster cracked. And while you left no mark, this was much more permanent than Sharpie wings. She became withdrawn. She shriveled up like the flowers on her knees after lack of nourishment. You liked being able to control how she was shaped. You crafted her into your version of perfection. She was blank before she met you. The flowers don't bloom in a thunderstorm. You knew what you had to do in order to keep your canvas around. Easels would run away if they weren't wooden and lifeless. She accepted your stale apologies listlessly. You were the sun. and you had to keep drawing her new Sharpie wings or else her wax would melt and she would drown. She was blank before she met you. This was your version of upcycling, reduce, reuse, 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 recycle, repeat. But the repetition got boring, so you threw her on a potter's wheel and made a masterpiece. While baking pottery, it's vital to rid the clay of all air sockets that doesn't explode. You squished her chest, then stretched her back out. Reduce, 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 reuse, recycle, repeat. You did this because you loved her. You didn't want her to lose all your hard work. You didn't want to find a new abandoned wall. Girls these days are learning how to cherish their temples. She hasn't, so instead you reduce, reuse, recycle, 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 repeat. She was blank before she met you. You chiseled too much. She's misshapen and broken like the wings on her shoulder blades. No longer lives the girl with the olive skin and bright eyes. No. You weren't kind enough to leave a shell of a human being behind. I guess no one taught you the general rule of thumb, leave the room how you left it. She's the ghost of a painting that never formed, the unwanted clay pieces, an empty spray can, a watermark. She lost her color after she met you.
Wonderful. All
right, judges, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck. I have a 9.5. I have a 9.0. I have a 9.5. I have a 9.3. And I have a 9.7. Give it up for her. And keep that love going for the final poem of this 4th round from Duchesne.
Hi, my name's Teresa Woods. I'm a senior at Duchesne. And this poem is titled An Important Phone Call. What happens if the scratch gets infected? What if they have to amputate? I've heard that is uncommon if they're careless with a cut or a scrape or a fall. Hello, Band-Aids in my makeup kit and Purell in my handbag. Hello, piano key thighs. I cannot stay still, so I play jarring symphonies on your shivering flesh, so tightly tuned, every sound is sharp. Even when I sleep, I can feel you vibrating as if trains are constantly passing by. Hello, twiddling thumbs. You only exist in awkward conversations and church. I can't kneel anymore. My kneecaps glow far too much like panic buttons, and my fingertips itch to do anything other than pray. I cannot hold thoughts in my hands, and my brain is too full to keep them in my head, so they fall to the ground running, chasing trains down the tracks and vibrating with the static in the priest's microphone. Hello, anxiety. Heights only scare me because humans have a tendency to fall. I spent 18 years on stairs to get here, and they told me the view would be breathtaking, but I'm finding it hard to breathe for reasons I didn't think I would. Hello, anxiety. If I scrape my knee from the fall, will I get to keep my leg?
Judges, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up. I have a 9.1. I have a 9.3. I have an 8.5. I have a 9.0 and a 9.7. Give it up for 5. Also give it up for yourselves because that concludes the first 4 rounds of competition. I will need a coach or a representative to meet Matt Mason in the back corner to go through the mid-round check. Also, I have a couple of lovely announcements for you because I like to share. All right, so let's give our special thanks to Humanities Nebraska, the Sherwood Foundation, the Cooper Foundation, the Kiewit Foundation, White Stanley Foundation, Colin Annette Smith, the Nebraska Arts Council, and anybody who's taken a moment to drop or a dime or a check in a donation box for the Nebraska Writers Collective. The organization is supporting this event and other events in the area. This is a happy, happy thing for all of us. Also, in the back of the room, we have youth emergency services. Make sure you check out their table. There's always a time when someone's going to need help. They're a resource for you. Take advantage of it. Also, see poetrymenu.com for other events.
What?
Poetrymenu.com. Poetrymenu.com. I know y'all heard me. I love you. All right. Also, you can donate and buy t-shirts. It's $15 for everybody unless you're a student, and then it's $10. Only $10. Also, we have LTAP tumblers, and those are $20. In the meantime, enjoy the amazing Mr. Brent Crampton, who's been playing tunes for us all night. I'll see you in a few minutes.
LTAB Great Plains. LTAB Great Plains.
Alrighty, so a brief scoring update for you going into our group week round. We have third place, we've got Omaha Benson, 126. In second place, we have Duchesne Academy with a 110 even. And in first place, we have the Galactic Federation of Bellevue United with a 111. So you'll be hearing from those teams in that order. Benson will be up first, thank you, Sam, and Bellevue. the scores are silly. We acknowledge this. We celebrate that. Really into the poetry and the poems tonight have been unparalleled. I'm going to have to mute the audio for a little while just so we don't get dinged on copyright from the DJ. But feel free, please discuss in the chat the poems that are moving you tonight, the things that you're reacting to, kind of stories that you can't believe you're hearing on this microphone. Because I know what you do for me. So we're going to go mute for a little bit, and then we'll be back in a little bit with the fifth round of Group East round. So stay tuned, stay locked in, share the link, youtube.com/LTABOmaha, LTABOMAHA, share that on, and I'll let the people know that they're watching this. We have another back coming up right after this one, starting at 7:30. So you want to be a part of that one too. That's it for now. I'm just going to mute the mics. We will be back as soon as the Group East round is ready to kick off. See you in a minute. I've got to bring the mic back up for the dancing early.
Please direct your attention to the normal time of the night who is stealing the show. All you girls. This is also your 2-minute warning. I need you to go to the bathroom. Go now, really fast. It's down the hallway this way.
She doesn't want to do great pieces. All right, that concludes our game for today, I believe. We'll be back to the bout proper. Dancing is allowed, so we'll see if any of the other teams or the teams in the room, if they want to capitalize on that. Certainly allowed. Definitely encouraged.
Alright, people! Okay, we have the fifth and final round. Are you ready? I'm not, I forgot my piece of paper. Okay, up next we have the group pieces. These are groups of 4 people from each team. School. Same thing. Same thing. Okay. It will go in the order of Benson, Duchesne, and the Galactic Federation of Bellevue Poets. So, please give a huge round for this group of poets from Benson!
Fortunate with the college. Nice work.
Hi, I'm Macy. I'm a senior.
I'm Tay. I'm a senior.
I'm Tiana and I'm a junior. I'm Lanisha Valentine, I'm a senior, and we're from Benson High School. Our poem is called The Park. I remember the day we met, that we were meant to be. I knew our fate was set, that he was the one for me. Taking my sister to the park, a place where she can be free, only left to know that he would find me.
Me and my friend.
We're playing ball with a little sister around the court. Not knowing Tiana's heart was what I was shooting for as I walked her sister off. But our eyes picked up and our hearts collided like 2 nights in a joust.
I remember the day like it was yesterday. My brother wouldn't let me forget. Playing ball, yelling swish, saying nothing but net. Till a little girl ran across the court, I let it slide. Till I looked at my brother, he was getting all googly eyed. Thinking to myself, ain't it nice to find love on this green day? Being shouted, saying, "Oh," like a kiss on a screenplay.
She won't let me forget the day they met. I was evaporated, dry tongue and sunburned. But even though we were in what felt like 100-degree weather, her little sister still had the energy to chase butterflies, and Tiana gathered the energy to run after her. But after she got struck down, I saw my friend take a fall that would hit her a lot harder and would cause emotional damage.
She was love-struck.
Used to go back to the park every day, but she was ghost. Always wanted to see her at the foundation of where our romance began before the departure.
I kept taking my sister to the park, not for her to play, but to see him. But every time I went, it was like he was a figment of my imagination. Gone before my eyes, and I never realized how bad I wanted him until I couldn't find him.
I knew he missed her. I knew he cared. His love was pouting every time his crush wasn't there. That day from the start, I could tell it was in his heart because at first he didn't even like going to the park.
You have to come to the park with me. I heard every other day. And even though it was always a blank trip, I still went anyway.
So let me ask you a question. Do you love her?
I don't know, man. Things just ain't been the same since back then. A part of me is glad we met, but the other wants to forgive across each other's presence like it was forbidden territory.
Do you love him? Of course I do, but sometimes I wonder if what we have is too good to be true, too scared to get my heart broken, and scared of the thought of losing him. But in the end, I trust and perfect what I believe, because at the end, I know, because what we ask, we shall receive.
I can see this in your mission, to catch that fish that you've been missing. Explain to me, what makes that territory so forbidden? I love you, bro, and I don't want this to get out hairy, so I think you should turn that forbidden territory into a familiar prairie.
Let me tell you, bro, since you're so enlightened, it's hard to commit a fish that's not like you.
I know. I was afraid for you the moment I saw you guys like eyes. I watched your world stop and only thought of how
you never really wanted to fall in love.
I want to be able to love him. It's just, love is a risky feeling for people like me. When my parents separated, it was the worst heartbreak I just can't seem to shake. I want to get over it, trust me, I do. I just don't know how to love like people normally do.
That was Omaha Benson. Welcome to Group Peace. Really interesting, really cool dialogue in that. I prefer theater. I like seeing stuff like that. You have a choice of that. Another big there, Omaha Benson. Great. This year, last year, I love it.
4, 3, 2, 1, Below the high, we have an 8 point, or sorry, from left to right, we have an 8.8, an 8.8, an 8.5, an 8.5, and a 9.5. And keep all that going from Duchesne.
My name is Jessica O'Flanagan.
I'm Rin Henning.
I'm Faith Walker. I'm Teresa Woods.
We're from Duchesne Academy, and this is
The Chastity Talk.
2 years ago, my school got a chastity talk. Giggled into church pews to receive stickers reading, "I'm worth waiting for." This dude single-handedly creeped everyone out, said, "You all have such lovely skin.
You're princesses. And your greatest God-given gift is this. You can bear children. To the man who reduced me to a uterus.
Do not make the mistake of thinking that I am not all about my reproductive system. My caves can knit humans.
My body can bubble into dawn and suns.
can wring itself of rusted blood.
And that is fantastic.
But my fortune cookie hips do not exist to crack out prophecies. My body doesn't crackle just to pop out.
What if I don't ever see bassinets
In my belly.
Don't etch cradles down my back. Could you render me a discarded shell?
If I don't tuck bodies in my body, don't expel my ropes into screaming twists, would you call me worthless? In your talks, you speak of the
Thrill of the chase.
and the gentle ways my body should shoulder yours, how the only breath between us is buoyant.
The things keeping you interested are curtains wrapping my limbs. Dare I let my bare windows or let the light in? Shed my skin and feel confident striding in my bare feet and floorboards.
Dare my thighs to oxidize.
Could you love me if I love myself in booty shorts? Do not muzzle my body just to keep you from staring. Ladies, you need to teach a man your dignity. You can't be worth anything naked.
Layer people and fleeces and modesty, because you aren't worth anything if you aren't a mystery.
To the man who defines me by those who inhabit me. We must be swollen or empty to make room for your approval.
And I used to think that I actually wanted it.
Blinked absently while you praised static.
And cursed friction,
But I don't want you judging my magnetism.
clogging my ear with these theories how my tape-like limbs will lick my lover's wrist, peel off when I collect too much of his skin, because my body is the only thing worth loving, worth waiting for. The breath of my sweat, tongue, and ripe lips is the only thing that could make him sick.
Lady, you are dispensable. Measured by how many pupils pinned to your bodice. Your fault for being tacky, for having corkboard body.
For being visible, for being sacks of targets.
And bloody seduction.
So force the
static.
Balance your future on the bedpost. Your worth doesn't exist the morning after. Ladies, your love is rationed, sliced into pieces for one customer.
And if you are bitten, tasted, stripped of your electric shield, just pray and hope you can find your humanity buried in the bed somewhere.
Charge your bedridden body back to whole.
Find your soul, because you must have lost it among all this blood and sweat.
All right, judges. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I have 9.7, 9.0, 9.8, 9.8, and 9.6. Up next, we have a group of poets from the Galactic Federation of Bellevue Poets.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
Liz, Megan,
And we are
the Galactic Federation of Bellevue Poets.
Journey of an Ordinary Plastic Bag.
If you look 1,000 miles east off the coast of California, you will find me shoved inside the stomach of a seagull.
Journey of an Ordinary Plastic Bag number 2. If you look 1,000 miles east off the coast of California, you will find me
Shoved inside the stomach of a sea turtle. Journey of an Ordinary Plastic Bag number 3.
1,000 miles inland from the coast of California, you will find me shoved inside another bag, inside another bag,
Inside another bag. Inside another bag. Inside a closet. Inside a middle-class home with an average of 2.5 children.
Journey of an Ordinary Plastic Bag number 577,099. If you look 1,000 miles east off the coast of California, you will find me
Wrapped around a fish's body.
Journey of an Ordinary Plastic Bag number 9,020,037.
If you look 1,000 miles off the coast of California, you will find me trapped among my brethren in a fleet the size of Texas.
Every day we get closer and closer to our destination.
Venice Beach.
The sunbathers will gasp in horror.
The skateboarders will say, bruh. Our invasion will be glorious!
Dirty than ordinary plastic bag number 123,321,000.
Thank you, come again.
Journey of an ordinary plastic bag number 900,900,900.
Somewhere in the world, a family hosts a dinner in their house. A father grills a fish in the backyard as his 16-year-old daughter.
Bridget tosses a frisbee to their golden retriever as the mother laughs with her book.
The mother pulls a bag away from a bag of bags.
They sit at the dinner table and the father begins to cut the fish.
Suddenly, the mother's orbit white smile drops. She has found a bag, not inside the bag of bags, but staring at her like a gray-blue Walmart slap in the face.
Her plate says a perfectly seasoned grilled tuna.
It is a man-made tumor that clashes so horrifically with her strategically placed slice of lemon that the writers of Good Housekeeping just shivered in their homes.
The mother holds it up with her fork for all to see. The implications of it too much for her to bear alone.
Everyone squirms in their chairs, eyeing their fish, thoughts of pollution and depleting ocean life cross their minds.
Momentarily blocking out the latest episode of Top Chef with the glaring evidence of human-induced cancer.
No. The plastic bags are actually aliens trying to engulf the world. They're slowly wrapping themselves around our globe until all of our Earth's surface is consumed by their plastic flesh, suffocating us and taking all of our non-fat yogurt.
But you know this happens every time you drink too much juice with high fructose corn syrup. You really need to start that all-natural vegan diet.
Journey of an ordinary plastic bag number 100 trillion.
Paper or plastic?
Alrighty. Some clever and creative writing from the Basalt Federation of Bellevue Poets. Close up our thoughts. Whether this comes back eventually or not, this is
All right, judges. It was a wonderful to last chance tonight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up. We have an 8.9. We have an 8.5. We have a 9.2. 9.8. 9.6. Give it up. All right, all our illustrious outfits are just back for the evening to let us know who is the winner besides everybody in this room because you got to also know again there are t-shirts in the back that you can take advantage of, and there's another bout after this one, so please stick around. There is more amazing poems in your future if you do. Also, if you know somebody who can't be here, direct them to youtube.com/LTAB Omaha, and they can watch the live stream of these bouts if they're not in the room. Because even if we can divide time and space for poems, we can do that for you. Yeah. All right. Also, there's a blog, and I need an intern. Can someone intern tell me about the blog?
It's ltabgreatplains.wordpress.com.
It's ltabgreatplains.wordpress.com. So you can look up a blog with lots of amazing information about what's going on with our teaching artists, with our students, and with the Nebraska Writers Collective in general. It's an amazing source of information. All right, so we're about to get started. So first, I would like all of my teams to join me up on the stage. Come up here.
Alright, so we're getting ready for the final scores for City. Great bout. Gonna be happy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for in third place, Omaha Benson.
Woo-hoo!
In second place, give it up for the Galactic Federation of Bellevue. And with the one, give it up for Omaha Duchesne. Thank you so much. We appreciate all of you. The next starter gets started very soon. Have a great night.
All right, you heard the ladies. So Duchesne takes the win in the first bout of this tournament. They've been around since year one. really strong balance cooperative teams to kind of make up that 1 point deficit they had. Yeah, it's really cool. But there's great writing from all three teams here tonight. Really, really impressive. I believe this is this might just be their second year. But those Benson counties, they fight hard. Really taking in a lot of their writing. And Bellevue coming together as a team that is representing both Bellevue East and Bellevue West. Really interesting to see how well they've kind of fused together. And they were leading the bout pretty much from rounds 2 through 4. So they've really strong team, and I can't wait to see their second bout. Stay tuned. This is not the end of tonight's events. We still have another bout coming up in about 10 minutes. It is going to feature poems from the following schools. This is something that all the major broadcasters do, and pull up and listen and look at that. All right, so coming up next, we're going to be hearing from Council Bluffs, Abraham Lincoln, Omaha Northwest, Omaha South, and I believe that'll be the only three teams because we are sadly without our Northwest poets. So Abe Lincoln, Omaha Northwest, and Omaha South will be in this next bout. I will be starting the live stream in about 15 minutes or so right here at youtube.com/LTabOmaha. So please tune back in for that event, chat it up, let people know that the event is happening. We want to get as many ears and eyes watching this live stream as we can. Because we love these poets, we love this writing, and we love to be able to share it. You can donate to support the work at LTabGreatPlains.org, LTabGreatPlains.org. We're the second largest slam poetry festival for youth in the nation. And we are happy, elated, proud, everything to bring this with to you. So thanks for tuning in, thanks for supporting, and I will see you on the next live stream. See you in a little bit.